Hello and welcome to Capricorn Makes. I'm Stacy, and today I'm here to do a coffee and dollies because it's, noon or something like that. I've been trying to make this video for a while and my camera did some funny things, and so let's see if I can figure out where I was. I may just cover all the bases again just to be sure. So I finally kicked that double ear infection that has been plaguing me for the last 2 weeks, and I can make videos again because I'm not falling over dizzy whenever I talk anymore, so that's really good. So this last weekend I went to a local fiber event that was going on here, and I took a bunch of stuff to sell on the de-stash table, which I ended up manning. So one of these bins full is what I ended up weeding out and taking with me, just because it was stuff that I bought when I was in Alaska, and my needs have changed here, and there are just some things that I just are not going to work for projects, and it was just time to move it on and make some space. I also went through my craft library of books and pulled out a whole bunch of stuff that I thought might sell. I did pretty well, actually. I think I sold about $200 worth of stuff, but I didn't come home with any money because there were other traders. I was actually really pleased. I sold probably a third of the yarn that I took and maybe a quarter of the book, so I still have quite a lot of stuff left, but I wasn't really expecting anything from it. I thought it would just be good to go and chat, and it was. But I ended up picking up quite a few things. So if you remember from my Woolfest haul, there was that really bright sparkly blue. That trader was there again. She's the local lady that I like so much. And I got more of her stuff. It's so bright. So this is Emerald. It's a sock blend of, I actually really like this sock blend. This is some of my favorite stuff to spin. Does it say on here? I think the sticker might be over what it is, but this is the luxury sock blend. I believe it is alpaca, silk, merino, and a bit of nylon. Maybe? Don't 100% quote me on that. And then this one, I've sort of been lusting after this color a long time. It's not quite color accurate on here. The green was pretty close, but this is more red than it is. This is actually sort of orangier than it looks on screen. It's really quite coppery. It's like copper penny red, like hair. It is incredible. And because it's got the different fibers in it, the fiber takes the dye differently. So each thing that's in this blend has come out a slightly different color, even though it's been dyed with one color, and it gives it so much depth for a single color fiber, which I really love. I mean, I think you can see a little bit more on here. There are blue patches in this and really green patches, but this was all just done with one dye. It just took differently. And so my husband has been asking me to make him a new scarf. Now, I've made him scarves before, and he wears not very many of them anymore. He basically has his favorite one and he wears that. But I was showing, he was sitting in the room while I was watching one of Andrea's Pusheen box opening videos, and when he saw the Pusheen scarf, he turned to me with these little sparkly eyes and he was like, "Could you make me a Pusheen scarf? I would wear it to work." Now, I think I've talked about this. My husband works in fraud investigation with the council. It's a very, very high stakes job, but part of what he needs to do with that is to actually appear friendly, and so yes, my very well-dressed, tidy husband will wear a Pusheen scarf to work if I make it. So I told him I would, and I've been kind of on the lookout for yarn, but I honestly don't go to very many yarn stores. But I found the perfect fluffy, flat, non-shiny merino. This is straight merino, but perfect colors. I am so looking forward to doing this. And I mean, I was sitting there and I was like, I could just get this and then dye a little bit of it, but this was really the perfect color. It is actually really color accurate. It does look a little bit funny on camera, but that's what this camera does, apparently. And then I also got one of my very favorite colors from her, and this is Embers. I thought this was Blackwatch, but it's not. It's Embers. Blackwatch is a different color, apparently. But the purple, or the black that's in this has a lot of purple content in it. So like where these ones have been, these are like a really blue gray, the black that's been, or the gray that's used in here is a really purpley one, and it's one of my favorite colors of hers. If you've seen my photos on Instagram of her rainbow, of the rainbow socks, like the stuff that I spun up, the black that I paired with that is the same color. It's a really deep purpley black, gorgeous black, and this is that same sock stuff that I really like to spin. And I had meant to stop by her stall again at Woolfest, but like I had bought that big box of fleece, so I'm just carrying all my stuff around, and I'm walking past her stall, and she has like she had tables out, and then she had like a wall rack where these were all hung like up like this. I couldn't even see the yarn, there were so many people at her stall. I'm like, I'll just catch her another time, and I did, and I'm so happy. So like that was stuff that had been on my list to buy at Woolfest. So not those things specifically, but just things from her. So I got those, and I'm really, really happy. Now, two of the things on my sale table were these two Brooklyn Handspun is who did these sock yarns. They're really lovely. They're my favorite weight, but I'm like, I'm not knitting with them. I'm not knitting them. I don't think I'm going to get around to knitting these. I have a ton of sock yarn. Like I have a whole bin of this full of sock yarn. So I was like, I don't think I'll get around to knitting these because I really prefer like different color heel and toe, or stripes or things like that. And I don't like them well enough together. They're not close enough together. One of the other girls there was selling this, which looks amazing with the blue and amazing with the green. So I'm like, I'll just take those off my sale table and get this. And this is probably enough for 4 or 5 pairs of socks, because I don't make mine super tall. I can usually get 3 socks out of a skein like this. So, you know, there might be a little bit left over. So that's 3, 6, 9. I mean, I don't need 9 socks. That's kind of an odd number, but like I'll have some leftovers here and there. Like I might do like a green pair with the dark blue heel and toe. I'll do a blue pair with the dark blue heel and toe, and then I'll probably do a pair with all 3 of them striped together, because that will probably make me pretty happy, I think. We'll see. I'm not in a rush again, but just adding this in sort of saved these 2 for me. So it's like I got new stuff from my own stuff. I also picked up this teeny tiniest little blue rain cloud that someone had like sewn together out of felt. And it has like a little like cyclops smiley face on it. And it's bitty. It's like, it's not even a centimeter long. It's tiny. But I thought it would be amazing as a doll accessory. So, I am going to make a prop video, like sometime this week. It'll be up soon. But it's so tiny that it really needs to be shown on the table. Like I could show you and you'd see this little tiny blue speck. Oh, and I also picked up these little, it's novelty yarn, and it feels like cotton that's been, I think it's actually 2 types of cotton. It's like pearl cotton slubs and like normal cotton slubs. It's really wild and really bizarre, and kind of matches the shirt rather more than I realized. But I like this kind of stuff when I'm weaving because it adds a lot of textural interest. And so it was on the free table, I took it, and I mean, I make that sound bad. Like, somebody didn't want it, they dumped it off, and at the end of the day, nobody had taken it, and I'm like, I'll just add it to my wonderful stash. Other things. So I pulled the red off of the wheel. And I know there's been pictures on it, and it feels like I've been working on this for a really long time. And I knew it was going to be a big spin because I had a lot of fiber. I had 8 ounces-ish of each color. Which normally, this is about 4 ounces. So I had like this much to spin up. So, I mean, I knew it was going to be a big project. or a bigger project. It wasn't going to be one of those like I started at the beginning of the week and a couple of days later or at the end of the week I'm finished, which does happen sometimes. So here it is. Look how squishy it is. I wish you could feel it's that kind of softness that comes from being smooth, not from being fluffy. Like it is actually fluffy because there's a lot of air in it, but it's because it's lace weight. There is almost 1,000 yards of lace weight here. I had 2 full bobbins and some leftovers, so that's a lot. That's a lot. And I was sitting there, I'm like winding and I'm like, God, this is taking forever. Because normally when I fill a bobbin, I really only get, I don't know, like 600 or 700 yards maybe. I'm not quite sure why I ended up spinning this up so fine, but it's very even. And I love it. And it's actually kind of color accurate on here. I've been trying to take color accurate photos, have not been happening. This is actually what it looks like. Although like once it goes up on YouTube, it'll probably look like I'm holding this cherry red coal because they are really bright on YouTube. But it is saturated and dark, and there's like little bits of green, like apple green running through it, and there's sort of like a deep black that's running through it and lighter bits of raspberry, and it just all comes out to this wonderful melty red color, and I have tons of it. I have more of it. I don't really know what I'm gonna do with this because like my wedding shawl this is about the same weight as what I made my ring shawl out of for my wedding, and I think I only used I used about this much for the whole shawl, which is a large lace shawl, which is what I would do out of something like this, and I have like 2 sets of this, so I could either do like a big fuck off thing or I could do several smaller things. I don't even know. Like my original intent was actually to make this up to make into another, this is one of my very favorite, I will stand up so you can see the appallingness that is this sweater, and it has pockets that are like of a different material. I want to knit something like this. But yes, this is my ugly sweater, and I love it so. I love it so much. But as I've been losing weight, it's so big. Like it's not even pretending to like be even remotely the right size, and I don't care. I wear it anyway. And it's not colors that I wear. I don't care. I wear it anyway. I don't care. I love this sweater so much. But I wanted something to replace this because it is showing its age really badly. I wear it all the time, and it's really thin. It's really thin, so I can wear it, you know, sort of as a transitional piece or in the summer because it's just like fine cotton. But I wanted something that I could wear in the wintertime that I would wear like this all the time. And so I wanted to do a striped sweater, and I was going to use this as the, you know, some of the darker pieces in it. And so like I may actually just spin up more stuff to go with that and stripe it, because I have a lot of things that are like that. And it ended up being a really easy spin, which when I'm doing large projects counts for a lot. I have some really small spins of not very much fabric or not very much fiber, but the fiber is just terrible and it's awful to spin. I mean, the product itself is nice, but it's just difficult to get to do what I want to do with it, which is kind of where you go, yeah, this fiber doesn't really want to do this, but then you're going like, but I want it to do this thing, which, you know, I mean, a lot of times, almost always, it's worth the fight in the end to get it to how you want it to be. But honestly, it's just better to have chosen something that wants to do what you want done with it in the first place. But yeah, so I mean, like, it takes more persistence and more skill to, you know, to make something that doesn't want to do a thing and have it come out like you want it to. But I've just got, like, I've got this green on my will right now that I hate it. It is fabulous once it's all spun up, and I hate it up and down. I hate touching it. I hate working with it. It doesn't, like, it was prepared in a way that I don't like, which is why I'm having to struggle so much with it to get it to do what I want. But it's the perfect color and texture to pair with what I want to put it with. So so that's, I think, like, now that I have the red, I have to like wind the other bit of it off, and I'm winding up like a little test sample for some doll knitting, which I think will be really fun. But, you know, so I'm getting that all done right now. But once I have that off, I'm going to get this green off my wheel so I don't even have to look at it. But, yes. So I said I was going to make a prop video. One of the things that actually is going to be too big to put on the prop video is this bicycle. I got this bicycle, this MSD sized amazing bicycle. So there's this import store that is, there's this import store that is right, like it's right inside one of the malls, and I didn't know how long it was gonna be there, and they have like these little bikes and they have some guitars, and it's just in the sea of crap. Like it's like really badly sculpted Siamese cats that are like 2 feet tall, and like really funky Native American headdresses that have like wolves painted on the feathers. I don't even know. I mean, it's like somebody described what Native Americans were to somebody who had no idea whatsoever what any of these animals were, that they've been painting on these things. It's a really bizarre little store. But this bike is, like, the gears actually work. So the wheel turns, like, it works exactly like it should. All of the gears engage. This all turns. These are rubber. Like these are actual rubber tires that, you know, I'm sure they don't have an inner tube, but they have a tread on them. They have like everything they need. Like, so like the pedals all work. The kickstand actually works. I need to bend it a little bit. There is a rest for the kickstand up here, but it's been pulled out a little bit too far. So I need to figure out if I can pull that back properly so the kickstand can actually be up. Like this all turns. It has like a brake mechanism. Oh no, that's a light. Oh my gosh. This is hilarious. Like, is there actually a light in here? This is actually wired. This is actually wired. So if you hook this up to a battery, there is not currently a bulb in there, but there's actually a place for like a little one of those itty bitty teeny bulbs in there, and this is actually wired. And this is all set up to take a battery of some sort. That is wild. I didn't even see that part of it. But yeah, like my only concern is that, like the bike itself is the right size, but I don't think the handlebars and the seat are quite tall enough to be in proportion. I think they actually need to be up about, pardon me, about that much higher, which I don't think will be a big deal. It looks like I could just go down to the hardware store and pick out some like larger, screws and do that if I need to. I don't know yet. I still have no bodies. But yeah, I wanted to show this one on camera because it's quite big. I might still put it on the table when I do my video. But I just wanted to show you how impressively sized it is for you know, a prop. It was really cool. I've been salivating over that for weeks, and so I'm so pleased to have actually gotten that. Had some other things I was going to talk about. Let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, I made the little beetle, because I was looking at doing like the MSD sized beetles for like a display case, and the dog ate ate the one. I didn't even think about the fact that she was super interested in the paper clay because she likes chewing on paper. Now other types of clay she doesn't worry about, but like she was like in my face sniffing at everything and sniffing my hands. Didn't even occur to me to put it up and away from her because she leaves my stuff alone for the most part. I say, now having admitted in 2 videos that she's eaten my stuff, but they've each been paper products of some sort, so I need to be careful with the paper products. And if you've seen the photos and are worried about my dog like eating wire, those are not actually wire legs on there. It's waxed linen, so she's okay. Like, this happened a while ago. She's totally fine. She was a bit miserable that night, I think, because I don't think it did great stuff, but it was all non-toxic, no wire. She's fine. So yeah, I need to clear a space in here in order to sort of work in here rather than out there, I think. I'm having a little bit of difficulty with the clay because it's really cold here. And getting my studio warm enough to work with clay, which is why I was working out in the other room, takes a lot, and then it's like really warm, and so the clay is like, oh, now we're too warm. We're not gonna do what you want. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. So I just haven't, like, just because I've been doing things and I've been pulling things out everywhere and rearranging and, oh no, you can't see, but I had like all of these boxes down in a way, and the top ones are still down. One of them's out in the other room. But like my stuff has just exploded everywhere. I need to take like a whole day and sort of clean up in here and finish up a couple of projects and see. There was one more thing I was going to talk about. Give me a sec. Two things, actually. So I have a Cock Doll Eyes order, and I've talked about this. Now, it shipped back on like the 6th or the 5th or something like that, and I didn't think it would take very long, but I also didn't, like, I didn't know how it was being shipped until I realized that it was being shipped like air mail through China Post, and it took me forever to figure out like how to track, because it only tracks while it's in China, which is okay. It's free shipping. I didn't mind. Didn't mind that. I think that's going to be fine. But there are actually charts that you can find online. Like once it leaves China, because it'll say like that you have a tracking number while it's still in China, and it'll say handed to carrier on there. And once that part goes, then you go to this chart that's online. That's pretty easy to find. It's like China Post, you know, China Postal Service, like arrival chart or something like that, is the Google search term. And you pull it up and you look at your country, and it'll tell you the soonest that it will arrive, the average time that it normally takes, and the time at which is the maximum, and after that you should probably contact. And they're actually pretty tight. Like I think it's like the earliest that it would arrive in New Zealand is like 9 days from when it left, or from when it shipped, or I would have to go back and recalculate everything. And the outside time like is something like only like 14 days. So like they estimate a pretty tight window for like when after which you should be concerned. But for some reason I thought it was going to arrive pretty quickly, and so I was kind of like over the post, and that is incorrect. So and that's okay. So I have like another week or something like that before I need to start watching like the mailbox, because our couriers are kind of yeah, that's okay. And the very last thing that I wanted to talk about was just kind of a little bit of a chat session about like I've been talking with some other dolly YouTubers behind the scenes, and I hear a lot about like, oh, I don't know if I want to take I'm really feeling anxious about making more videos. It's been a really long time. What am I going to say? I don't, it's like I was telling people that I would have progress and I don't, or like my focus has changed and I'm getting rid of dolls, and like, what if people don't like me anymore, or what if people are angry about what I'm doing, or, what, I don't know what to say, and it's just making me anxious because I feel like I should do this. And, those are all really valid things. I mean, this can be really anxious. You're getting out there, you're doing this because you want to connect with people, and you want to, you have an audience, but it isn't like this big, I mean, I was saying earlier, but I think it may have been in the bit of video that was lost, that social obligation is one of the fastest ways for, like, to kill my enthusiasm for something. If I feel socially obligated to do something in any way, shape, or form, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. It's just done. like, once there's that expectation set on me, I have no desire to do something at all. Because like it sort of imposes all of these artificial things on me that come outside of myself, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to pander, or to like have to produce something. That's not what I want to do for fun. It's not what I want to do professionally. It's just not my idea of, what the sorts of things I want to be involved in. Either in my private life or, in any sphere. And so I get that sort of looming, overhanging, oh, well, the people are, expecting me to put something out there. And, that's a really big, scary thing. And, at the end of the day, all I can do is remind you, like, if you have a channel and you haven't put anything out there for a long time because you're worried about something, or because you're anxious over things, or you're not sure what to say, that's okay. You know, you can just not make videos anymore. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you don't owe anybody anything. You know, it is wonderful that you have chosen to share things with people like myself who really enjoy watching your content and really enjoy seeing your dolls and seeing your crafts and seeing your crazy ideas and listening to you talk about wild flights of fancy and seeing you follow through on some of them or not. I mean, it really doesn't matter. You know, the people who enjoy watching your things enjoy you. They enjoy the sorts of things you're putting out there. You're not going to be a disappointment. You know, people have opinions about your stuff, sure, but it's just because they've connected with you and connected with the sort of things that you are doing, and you are out, and that can be a little bit unsettling. But again, they are there for you, and they just want to see your face and hear you talk and see you enjoy your stuff. And so if you are at the point where, you know, you feel like that's a really good reason to make a video, then make a video. And if you just can't be bothered, don't make a video, and that's okay. And don't stress over it, because you shouldn't. You know, you don't have to. It is not something that should be stressful. And it's just one aspect of, you know, the way we're choosing to enjoy our hobbies. And if you're not enjoying, you know, what you're doing, then don't do it. Though if you do want to make some videos, that's great, because we really like seeing you. All right, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one.